A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. But they have taken all the monies that were due to me, people that were working on my behalf, never even registered the songs, all the songs that I've done. I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. So I'm truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made.
AlBSure just threw the whole internet into chaos after exposing shocking secrets about Angie Stone and her alleged ties to a white cult. This bombshell came right before her mysterious passing, and now people can't stop talking about it. Angie wasn't just another name in music. She was a legend, one of the few who saw through Diddy's dark side early on. She tried to guide him away from his so-called demonic habits, but according to AlBSure, he went right back to the same old twisted behavior not long after. Things took a wild turn when Angie was reportedly preparing to sue Universal Music Group for stealing millions from her hard-earned catalog. That alone had fans raising eyebrows. And now, her sudden and tragic death only made everything look even more suspicious. No one's flat out accusing UMG of anything, but let's be real. The timing looks way too strange to ignore. AlBSure isn't holding back either. He's spilling text messages, private conversations, and voice notes that Angie allegedly sent him before she died. And based on what's coming out, it's starting to look like she knew something big, something dangerous. Angie's final hours were heartbreaking. She lost her life while returning from a show, and witnesses say her car suddenly flipped several times out of nowhere. People close to her claim that she was still alive after the crash, trapped, fighting to get out. But here's where it gets downright eerie. While she was still inside the overturned vehicle, a random truck slammed into her car again. Can you imagine that? A full collision while she was helpless inside? It just doesn't add up. Now the streets are talking, fans are questioning, and AlBSure is making it known that he won't be silenced. He's calling this entire situation too coincidental to ignore, and the more he reveals, the darker it all gets. Something about Angie Stone's death just doesn't sit right, and people are demanding answers. Fast! That second hit was what finished the job. And what makes this whole thing even stranger, out of everyone involved in that crash, Angie was the only one who lost her life. Like, come on, that can't just be some random coincidence. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but how do you explain two freak accidents happening within minutes, and only she doesn't make it out? Something about that night just screams setup. And it gets even more suspicious when you look at what was going on before her death. Angie wasn't just living her life peacefully. She was getting ready to go head-to-head with Universal Music Group in court.
Supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? And that's why I'm telling on Universal and all the people that y'all work with me, y'all know who you are. You've been spotted. You've been seen. Your worth is useless to me now because I've seen the data. That's all I'm going to say. I got a team of people, a diesel crew, that's really trying to help me navigate things. And if I never get it, at least you heard it from me, because I don't know what they might do to keep from paying me all the money they owe me.
She found out they'd allegedly been stealing her royalties for years, and baby, she was not about to stay quiet about it. She was gearing up to sue them for every single dollar they took. And we're not talking about pocket change either. Reports say the amount was around $10 million. Money she earned through her blood, sweat, and tears over decades in the music industry. Angie wasn't playing around. She told close friends she was done being robbed. She even said if Universal hadn't been secretly pocketing her money, she would have retired a whole 20 years ago. Can you imagine that? All those years performing, touring, and creating timeless music, and the label was allegedly eating off her hard work. The timing of everything, her lawsuit plans, the mysterious accident, and the bizarre follow-up crash. It's giving way too calculated. Something doesn't add up here, and the more people dig, the messier this story gets. Because Angie never saw a dime of the money she earned, she had no choice but to keep grinding. It's heartbreaking, really. This woman should have been relaxing somewhere, enjoying her legacy. But instead, she was still out here hustling just to survive. Even on the very day she died, Angie was working. She had just finished performing, trying to keep her career afloat when tragedy struck on her way home. Imagine that. Giving your all for decades and still being forced to take long overnight trips just to make ends meet. Angie was on the road at 4 a.m. after her show, exhausted but determined to keep pushing. That's not the life a living legend should have been living. She should have been somewhere comfortable, reaping the rewards of all those years she poured into her music. But since her royalties were allegedly stolen, she had to keep chasing the same dream she'd already achieved. It's just wild. A woman who helped shape R&B, still out there grinding in the middle of the night while others were cashing in on her art. That late night drive wasn't supposed to cost her life. But because of greed and betrayal, Angie Stone was still out there working when she should have been celebrated and taken care of. Angie said it loud and clear, straight from her own mouth. She made that video because she was scared of what they might do to her for demanding the money that was rightfully hers. She told fans she didn't trust how things were moving behind the scenes, and she wanted to put the truth out there just in case something happened to her. And then, not even a week later, she's gone in a so-called freak accident at 4 a.m. The only one who didn't survive while everyone else somehow walked away. Come on now, that's just too strange to be random. Something about this whole story smells real suspicious. And let's be honest, this ain't just about Diddy's weird late-night freak-off parties. This goes deeper. Angie was clearly in danger, and it feels like she knew something was coming. Before her death, she opened up about what she called a spiritual attack that left her battling a severe blood infection. She said she felt like dark forces were trying to take her out. Literally. That infection put her in the hospital, hooked up to IVs, fighting for her life while still trying to keep her spirit strong. She told loved ones that if it hadn't been for constant prayers and faith, she might have died even sooner. It's almost like she was being targeted from every angle, physically, spiritually, and financially. And then, days later, she ends up dead in the most bizarre way possible. The dots just connect too perfectly for it to be coincidence.
I knew it was an attack. I knew it was a spiritual attack on me. However, I was treated, and God healed me, cleared up. They cleared up the blood infection.
Angie Stone wasn't just another artist. She was warned, she spoke out, and she still didn't make it. Something dark was definitely at play here. When Angie first mentioned that strange infection, she didn't go into full detail. She kept things private, maybe out of fear, maybe out of exhaustion. But after she passed, AlBSure came forward and spilled what really went down. And his post had the whole internet in shock. He claimed that infection wasn't random at all. It was allegedly the industry's first attempt at taking her out. That statement alone sent chills through fans everywhere. Now, not everybody was here for how Al handled the situation. It wasn't that people disagreed with him exposing the dark side of the industry. It was how he did it that rubbed many the wrong way. He made a public tribute post that looked heartfelt at first, honoring Angie's strength and soul. But then, in the caption, he dropped screenshots of their private text messages. Messages where Angie opened up about deeply personal health struggles that she clearly never meant for the world to see. He started the post off beautifully, writing, "I can't really gather my own thoughts at the moment to say anything close to describing the profoundly brave and amazing woman my sister star Angie Stone was." But right after that touching line, he added, "So I'll just let Angie say it to you all in our last text to each other." Then came the part that changed everything. The messages revealed just how much Angie was going through behind closed doors. One of her texts read, "Hey hun, it's Angie Stone reaching out to please give me a call ASAP. Lot of stuff happening regarding this transplant situation. I have 2 possible donors, but they are discriminating against blacks now. It's been 5 years. Can you imagine? She was literally pleading for help, dealing with discrimination in a life or death medical situation, and barely holding on. Al responded sweetly, writing, "Hey there, Queen. Great to hear from you. I'm on the plane and will touch base with you as soon as I touch down." But by then, the damage was done. Fans started dragging him online for airing private details that Angie clearly trusted him with. People felt like he crossed a line, that instead of protecting her memory, he ended up exposing her pain to millions. Still, others defended him, saying he only wanted to show what Angie was really up against before she died. Either way, it reignited the mystery around her death and made everyone wonder, was Angie's infection really natural, or was it part of something far more sinister? In her next message, Angie went even deeper.
Happened to be in the studio this particular day, and because he never ever really bothered with me or spoke to me in that fashion, I wasn't a part of Uptown, I was just at MCA. On this particular day, I was coming off the elevator. I will never forget it as long as I live. And Puffy came to me, first time, speaking to me as a decent human being. And he said, "Hey, Miss Stone." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine. I'm shocked you speaking to me."
And this one had everyone's jaw on the floor. She started talking about Diddy, saying how relieved she was that the truth was finally catching up to him after all these years. According to Angie, she'd been watching everything unfold and couldn't believe how long it took for people to finally see what Al had been warning the world about. She even mentioned Kim Porter, claiming that Kim's spirit was helping to expose Diddy from beyond, and that line alone sent chills through everyone who read it. Her message read, "Call me when you get a moment to chop it up with me. I've been praying hard for you ever since all this foolishness you've been saying for years finally been exposed and he's going down. I didn't realize just how much craziness you had actually gone through, and it's so unfortunate. Now that I'm praying for you and supporting you on everything that you got going on, I pray that your son Quincy and yourself lock horn again and he walks away from that whole ratchet situation, as the whole world knows he deserves to be with his biological father at this time. I know that Kim is resting in paradise. She was born a couple of days before me, so I know her spirit well. I know how she rolled, and I can assure you that she's been the one assisting you from the other side. Be blessed and know that I'm here for you no matter what. Peace and blessings, King." Can we just take a second to unpack that? Angie literally said Kim Porter was helping from the other side. That's a chilling statement, especially considering how mysterious Kim's own passing was. The fact that Angie felt spiritually connected to her and believed Kim was guiding Al through everything makes this whole story even more haunting. But here's the wildest part. Angie also claimed that right before she died, Diddy himself came to her seeking prayers. She allegedly told friends that Diddy was panicking, saying he feared for his life after that old scandal with Shine and J-Lo started haunting him again. Can you imagine that? The same man everyone thought was untouchable, running to Angie Stone for spiritual protection because he felt something dark closing in on him. And just days after Angie mentioned all of this, she ends up gone under suspicious circumstances. The timing is insane. Angie's texts painted a picture of someone who knew way more than she should have and wasn't afraid to say it. Between the lawsuit, the spiritual attacks, and these eerie messages about Diddy and Kim, it's hard not to wonder if she uncovered something the world wasn't supposed to hear. Angie was deep in a lot of spiritual and industry circles, and some people truly believe she was taken out because she knew too much. Her name had been whispered in connection with powerful people and secret groups for years, but after her passing, everything started to make sense for many fans.
He said, "Miss Stone, would you please pray with me?" I said, "Well, of course." When he asked me to pray with him, I believe at that moment Puffy was terrified for his life. I think that he was afraid because all of the things that had gone out and about that party, they were singling him out, and I don't think that he thought he was going to survive it. And I was just happy that whenever he didn't speak to me, I knew he couldn't see me. But on this day, he saw the God in me. which was so not about me, but it was so about the spirit that I carried.
It was revealed that Angie was allegedly linked to the rumored occultic sorority Zeta Phi Beta, something nobody really knew about until after they posted a tribute for her. That one post set off a storm online, with fans questioning why they waited until her death to acknowledge her connection. Nobody knows exactly why she might have joined them, but word on the street was that Angie turned to that circle as a form of protection. People claimed she felt constant danger hanging over her, like the industry was closing in on her and she needed a spiritual shield to survive. Sadly, if those rumors are true, even that wasn't enough, because somehow they still got her. The internet was full of emotional reactions. One person wrote, "Angie Stone's passing is literally Left Eye from TLC all over again. A tragic car crash that flipped over, and being the one and only fatality. Just eerie, tragic, and unfortunate." And honestly, that comparison hit hard. Both women were deeply spiritual, outspoken, and gone far too soon under suspiciously similar circumstances. Just hours before her death, Angie was reportedly shaken but calm, telling close friends she felt something heavy in the air. She had been receiving strange calls from unknown numbers and believed she was being watched. Insiders say she told one friend she planned to go public with everything she knew about the industry's hidden dealings, including the manipulation, threats, and the spiritual side of fame that most artists refuse to speak about. What's chilling is that she didn't sound paranoid. She sounded resigned, like she already knew her fate was sealed. That same night, she performed her show flawlessly, smiling on stage, but several people noticed she seemed deep in thought afterward, almost distant. Hours later, that tragic accident happened, leaving behind more questions than answers and a trail of eerie coincidences that refused to fade. After news of her death broke, fans flooded social media with disbelief and grief, demanding answers about what really happened. People who knew Angie personally began speaking up, saying she had been under immense stress in the weeks leading up to the crash. Some even claimed she confided that powerful figures were trying to silence her after she started asking too many questions about her missing royalties and calling out shady industry ties. What really shocked everyone, though, was how quickly the official reports labeled her death an accident without any deep investigation. The timing, the secrecy, and the way the story was wrapped up so neatly, it all felt too clean, too controlled. Now, the internet is buzzing with theories, wondering if Angie's voice was silenced right when she was about to expose the truth. In the days that followed, strange things started happening around the people closest to her. Some of Angie's friends claimed their phones were mysteriously wiped, while others said they received warning messages telling them to stop talking. Even Al himself hinted that he felt watched after posting those texts. Fans began digging deeper, finding odd coincidences linking Angie's passing to other artists who had also spoken out before sudden accidents. What's even more disturbing is that certain industry insiders who once worked with Angie suddenly went silent, deleting posts, ignoring interviews, and pretending like they barely knew her. It's almost like someone wanted her name buried along with her body. But no matter how hard they try, people can feel that something isn't right. And the whispers about what really happened to Angie Stone are only getting louder. Another comment pointed straight at Diddy, saying, Puff, being a narcissist, knew that she was the only one who would have empathy for him because of her spirituality. Like she said, he never paid her any attention before. He knew she had a beautiful gift of singing, but he wasn't going to tell her about it. He was simply being an energy vampire as usual. She comes off as an earth angel attracting a lot of narcs. That comment alone speaks volumes. People truly believe Angie's pure spirit made her a magnet for people who drained her energy, especially those in power. The more she tried to help, the more danger seemed to surround her. It's chilling to think that her kindness might have made her a target instead of a blessing. But now I want to know what you think. Was Angie's sudden death really just an accident, or did powerful people in the industry have something to do with it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe for more shocking updates, because this story is far from over.